Right then guys, so in today's video I'm going to take you through sort of my whole fitness journey, so how I went from this to this to this to this, everything in between. So obviously it can be quite disheartening a lot of the time along the way when you think you're maybe not making progress, or you're not making progress as fast as you may want or as fast as other people may be doing, but that's all part of it. It's literally just a time, patience, consistency game. Simple as that. If you can nail those things, then you'll generally do well. So, first of all, obviously, I was born, I was birthed to the world, but we're not going to go through all that bit. But basically, I was a small kid, I was a skinny kid, I was always like little. My mates used to fucking pick me up, throw me in the pool, dunk my head in the pool, and yeah, it wasn't ideal. But then I grew up playing football. So I was obsessed with football my whole childhood, my whole upbringing. I ended up playing at a decent level before I came to uni, so I was playing at semi-pro before I moved to university. Before that, I was trained a little bit. I've not got any footage or any photos, unfortunately. I'll put some photos of like me on holiday around this time. But I was about like 14, 15, and I trained just because my mates did at school. So a couple of my mates were into training, and there was a local gym 5 minutes down the road from the school, so we used to go there after school, and then my mum would come and pick me up. And again, that was just, I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I would be literally like trying to bench press the 6s, the 8s, and like struggling. So yeah, literally like complete beginner at that age. Then unfortunately I stopped training throughout college. And again, the main focus was on football, and I wish I'd have trained during this time because I could have made so much progress. And if I'd have carried on from like 14, 15, I'd be a lot further on than I am now. So that's my advice to anyone that's sort of getting into it at a young age. Stick with it. Just stick with it, even if you're not training optimally. If you're training at all at that age, you'll be ahead of the game at 19, 20 than you would have been obviously if you start at 19, 20. So just stick at it. But yeah, I wish I made more of my time when I was at college. I used to just go to college, go home and eat a packet of bourbons and watch The Chase. That was my evening routine, literally eat bourbons and watch The Chase. And I don't even have that much trivial knowledge from it now, so it's not served me too well. So yeah, I could have really, like every evening, been training then, and I've made some huge progress. I was, like I say, obsessed with football, and I did work at that time as well, so I could have sort of potentially trained a good amount, but I did have other responsibilities, like watching The Chase and eating bourbons. So I wasn't really that bothered then as well, to be honest. Like, it's not like I was obsessed and I really missed training. I just wasn't that bothered. Then I started training properly in my gap year. So I went to college. I then had a gap year between college and coming to Loughborough University. So in that gap year, I got back into training. I was still playing football, so leg training was only once a week. And I worked at Next full time, so I was pretty busy with work and everything, but I made time for training. Most evenings I would train after work on the way home, and I would like eat weird stuff in the car that I thought I had to eat pre-workout. I'd have like loads of almonds and stuff, very odd, and I'd drink like a vanilla protein shake immediately as soon as I finished my session because I had to, which was ridiculous, and it tasted like shit, right? But I felt like I had to have it. All these things that you do at the start and you learn from. So yeah, I started training then. Again, I've not really got any footage from then or too many photos. I'll stick some photos of around the time, again, like holiday photos of around the time that I was getting into to training properly. I was still living back at home with my mum and dad, but I was starting to cook my own meals a little bit more and things like that. But it wasn't properly into it. But then when I came to uni is when I really started. So I stopped playing football because I was just lost the love for it, lost the enjoyment for playing really. It was too high of a level for too little money and enjoyment. So I got into the gym. That was my sort of new thing to focus all my time and my energy on outside of my lectures. And obviously, as people will know, that a lot of people that have been to uni, you're not at uni 24/7. You might have a couple of lectures a day and then you've got loads of time spare. So I would train most of the time in the middle of the day, so I could really prioritise my own training. I started to get into understanding the nutritional side of it, understanding my macros, tracking my food, making sure that everything was on point. I was starting to worry about everything at this point, and this is when I really started to see some changes. So I've got some photos again, some footage from around this time of me training. Training wise wasn't optimal at this time. I logged my lifts a little bit in my head, and I tried to beat my sort of previous ones, but I was never really fully focused on proper progressive overload. My mindset around training was like, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't like really, you know, every set, the intensity wasn't there at all compared to now, as you'll see from some of the training footage. The form was okay, but I was, again, a lot of the time trying to move too much weight with not great form, which I went through a period where I had to reset a lot of my movements and get the form bang on. This time I was training at Holywell, which is a gym at Loughborough University, and then I trained there for the first year of uni, and I realised I wasn't enjoying uni, and I wanted to pursue a career in fitness, so I did my PT course. So I did that with the training rooms, and it was like a 5-week intensive course where I had to go in twice a week. The rest of it was online, and it was a really good course and taught me everything I needed to be a PT, which, to be fair, was very little. I already had the knowledge and had the sort of the drive to do it. It's like passing your driving test. You don't learn sort of properly how to drive, you just learn how to pass the test. Same with PT course, you don't learn how to be a good PT, you just learn how to pass the PT course. So yeah, I did my PT course. That was after my first year of uni, so just started my second year of uni, and I did my PT course, and then I started straight away working at Pure Gym, and I started training there as well. So again, I've got some footage and some photos around this time. In terms of ages, by the way, like I was like 14, 15 on the first photos when I first started ever training. Then in my gap year, I'll have been, what, 18? And then when I came to uni, I was 19. So I properly started training at 19. And I'm 23 now. So I would say, when people ask me how long you've been training, I'd say 4 years, really. I trained a bit before that, and then I properly sort of started training once I got to uni. So 19 till now, 23. Okay, so I started working and training at Pure, and I was still really learning how to train, as you'll see from some of the videos. I was still learning how to train with intensity, with good form, with good control, with good range of motion. And I was always relatively lean. I'd done like my first ever diet when I was back at Holywell Gym. So I'd never really gone into a proper productive gaining phase of focusing on growing a lot of muscle and putting weight on. So I did that really when I was working and training at Pure Gym. And then I finished uni, and I would have been, what, 22, so that was last year, 2019. So I finished university, and I solely focused on my personal training and my online coaching. So I brought out my online coaching brand then, which was great, and I could focus purely on that once the university work was out of the way. And I did my first proper sort of diet I had a photo shoot, and then I also dieted for my Egypt holiday. So again, I'll just relay footage and photos from around these times. And then I sort of started to get a lot more interest into bodybuilding rather than just fitness. So when I first started getting into fitness, I was watching people like Ross Dickerson and Rob Lipsett and Mike Thurston, people like that on YouTube, and learning from those kind of people. Whereas now, like, I wouldn't. Not because they're great for people getting into training, 100%. They're great in terms of the lifestyle of getting into training, going to the gym, tracking your food, but it's not bodybuilding, it's fitness, really. And then over time, you know, you're following changes, you start to follow people who are more into the bodybuilding side. So, you know, now when I'm watching YouTube, it'll be people that are sort of more bodybuilders. So I'll watch like James Hollingshead, I'll watch Cuba, I'll watch JP videos. I'm obviously sub to JP's site. Obviously I'll watch AJ's stuff. So you're following changes of what you know, go down a different path. So a lot more bodybuilding focused, and that's where sort of I enjoy it more and can focus solely on that. So with that, your training knowledge improves, your training intensity improves, and as you can see, you know, my training improved, my intensity, my training was loads better once I got, you know, focused on it solely being that, and not just how I look, but more so focused on performance. And with that performance comes the look. You know, people are far too worried about how they look and focus on just how they look, and not worried too much about, I'm not worried too much about getting strong, I'm more about how I look. But if you get stronger in different rep ranges with good form, you'll look loads better. So focus on that. You know, focus, prioritize your performance, and the aesthetic will come with that. So yeah, Training was improving, I was growing as much as I possibly could on a good amount of food. I started training at different gyms, so I was focusing on not just training in a gym, like pure gym where the environment wasn't great. I wanted a better environment, I wanted better kit. I started training in different gyms like Dynamite, trained at like Premier Gym, Warehouse Gym, training in all these different gyms, different places to push me forward. And then I started working with AJ. So the goal was put as much size on as possible before competing, especially my hamstrings, because my hamstrings were a real weak area. So this was like a proper gaining phase. I've done one previously, but this was more so like really like not worry about how I look, just get big. Obviously we're still within reason, not just getting fat for the sake of getting fat, but putting on enough size to really focus on training well, getting strong and prioritizing recovery. So during that time I was just really optimizing my results. You'll see I got, strength was flying up, size was going on, I was getting bigger, getting stronger week after week after week, session after session. And then I started my prep at the end of February this year, so February 2020. Obviously 2020 has been a bit of a mess, but all going well, the show's still on. Obviously we had the gym closures. Luckily enough I got to train with Reese, so massive thanks to Reese for letting me train in his garage during the lockdown. It's made prep a lot easier. So we trained in the garage during that time, and then we obviously got back into the gyms, and now we're currently where we're at. So where I'm at now, which is just past the 8 weeks out mark from my first ever show. So that's my whole sort of fitness journey. It takes a long time, it takes a lot of consistency. During that time when I started training properly from like 19 to now, I could count on my hand the number of times I've missed a session. Like, I don't think I have. I've not missed a meal, really. Even if it's been like, oh, I've had a different meal that I've fit in, things like that. You can still go out for food, you can still go and have time with friends, with family, but you fit your training around that. If I'm going to see my family on a Saturday, I don't just go and not train, because I train on a Saturday. You train on your training days, you rest on your rest days, you get your meals in, you get your sleep in, you stay hydrated, you optimize your recovery, you prioritize yourself and your well-being, and you'll see the results from it. So take your time, be patient, do all the basics consistently, and you'll get there, and just keep going. I was looking back at getting all this footage together and going, oh my God, like 2 years ago I thought I was training a lot better than I was, and looking back now I really wasn't. And I'm sure in a couple of years time I'll look back at this video and my training from now and be like, God, I was weak compared to what I will be in a couple of years. So it takes time, and it takes a lot of mental strength and willpower and positive attitude to just keep bettering yourself day after day. If you fall in love with progression and bettering yourself day after day, you'll do well. So I'm going to leave the video there, guys. Any questions on any of that, please feel free to ask. I hope it potentially motivates, inspires some people to stick at it, especially if you're young. Stay at it. You'll do well if you get into this at a young age and do things really well and consistently. Feel free to ask people questions. People are there to help. Ask as many questions as you need to, because people are there to help you. So yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure you subscribe, like the video, press the bell button for the notification. It literally just cut off. Imagine that, 14 minutes whatever, and it cuts off at the last second. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.